Hey everybody, it's Bonnie Hunter in the quilting quarters at Quiltville Inn. And I got a delivery of new rotary cutter mats today because it was time to replace some. And while I'm putting these out here, I thought I would just go over a few things because there are new quilters among us who might not know this. I know you want your rotary cutter mats to last as long as possible. And did you know that a badly worn mat is the #1 cause of dull rotary blades? Mats are not self-healing if you run over the same line again and again and again because you are cutting by the measurements on the mat and not the measurements on your ruler. Hang on just a second and I'm going to show you what's going on here. This is the old mat. There are deep grooves here, where instead of somebody using the lines on their ruler to measure by, they've been using again and again and again the lines on the mat to cut their strips, squares, rectangles, whatever. This is a deep, deep groove. And if you are cutting along that groove, guess what happens to your rotary blade as it dips down into this rough area and then comes back out again? It's going to kill your blades before their time. The other side, these are Fisker's mats. I like them because they're double-sided and I like the contrast. This one's not as bad, but I can feel grooves here. So how do you cut without using the lines on your mat? Let me show you. Okay, so I've got my new mat here and I've got a piece of fabric that I have pressed and we're ready to go. My favorite rulers are the Ulfa Frosted because there are no big white or black circles that interrupt my view. And I like how it's a little bit cloudy, opaque, so that I can still see through it, but it doesn't reflect the light as bad for me. And I love that that's marked very easily in 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch, and whatever. So the first thing I want to do is to get a clean cut on the edge of this strip, just because we want a nice even edge. Okay, so that's gone. Now how do I measure without cutting on the lines on the mat? It shouldn't measure. You can place this at an angle this way, at an angle this way. Wherever it lands on the mat means that you're not cutting in the same place again and again and again. So I'm going to cut a 2.5 inch strip from this piece of fabric. I'm going to put the 2.5 inch line right here on the fabric. I'm going to put a line at the bottom fold of the strip set so I know I'm cutting straight. And I'm going to slide that 1/2 inch line until it is right at the edge of my fabric. Still on the fabric, not on the mat, but on the fabric. And I'm going to make my cut. So I am measuring with the lines on the ruler, not the lines on the mat, so you don't get grooves in your mat and your mat will last a long time and your rotary blades will stay sharp. I can get another 1.5 inch strip out of this, so let's do that. I'm going to put the 1/2 inch on the fabric and slide it to the outside edge where that clean cut is. And I'm going to cut here. Whoops, that went a little bit squirrely, so we'll try again. All right, so this is little tiny. Scrap's too small to save, but from that one thing, I've got an 1.5 inch strip and a 2.5 inch strip. I didn't cut on the same place on my mat, and my mat is going to last a lot longer. My rotary cutter blades are going to stay a lot sharper. So that's the big hint I've got for you today. Please use the lines on your ruler to measure by instead of the lines on your mat. You're going to get more accurate cuts. It's going to save your mat and give you much longer life on your rotary blades. We've got a new group coming this afternoon. The rotary mats are out and the house is ready, and I'm excited to welcome them for a fun weekend at Quiltville Inn. Soon the walls will be covered with design wall projects and fabric will be everywhere, and laughter and camaraderie and fun will follow us through the weekend. Have a great day, everybody.